Hi, my name is Tim and imagine you've won $1 million, so you've decided to buy your first Rolls Royce. Now I'm not a car channel so I haven't researched its prices, but let's say it costs $1 million. The entire deluxe package costs you exactly $1 million. You get the multimedia package, leather seats, more airbags, more seats, a convertible roof, I don't know, the best engine there is. So the seller naturally is very happy because he's gonna get a fat bonus. He's gonna get turkey for dinner. But then he asks you about the wheels because you haven't mentioned those. So you tell him, of course, give me the cheapest wheels you have, the Chinese ones. They're talking about the L mount and the paradox around it, and this analogy will make sense later in the video. The L mount is a full frame mount that started its way in 2018 when Leica partnered up with Sigma and Panasonic. Both are camera and lens manufacturers. Yes, Sigma actually produces cameras. I didn't know it either until recently. And DJI joined sometime along the way, which is kind of weird because it creates cameras now, but they don't have an L mount. They have an interchangeable lens mount. Maybe one of them is the L mount. Let me know down below. I have no idea. It feels like DJI just does everything today. So together they banded up and created the L-Mount Alliance, which sounds like a superhero gathering, which means that all the cameras and lenses from these manufacturers are compatible. Now, Leica also has its M-Mount, which originates back in 1954, and all the lenses are still compatible in the M-Mount, but it's a whole different mount and the lenses there are manual. So Leica probably wanted to get into the autofocus realm with its cameras. To take a look at the L mount and figure out whether it actually makes sense, we need to look at a more comparable mount which we're all familiar with on this channel, Micro Four Thirds. Micro Four Thirds is a crop sensor camera mount which is even smaller than APS-C. It has a 2x crop to the APS-C's 1.5. It was created in 2008 by Olympus and Panasonic, and although Olympus don't exist anymore, they're called OM Systems. Both are camera and lens manufacturers. There's also the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, but it was the only camera that Blackmagic produced with Micro Four Thirds mount, and it probably won't produce any more of these. Let's hope. All the lens manufacturers you know to this date are creating Micro Four Thirds lenses, and they're compatible with one another. I'm filming myself on a Panasonic GH5 with a 12 to 200 Olympus lens, and as you see the autofocus works flawlessly under steady conditions, and all the lenses are compatible and working with one another. And what's the purpose of Micro Four Thirds? Well, because it's a crop sensor which is smaller than APS-C, the glass for the lenses will be even smaller. So that means that the prices will be more affordable, and although there are some Micro Four Thirds lenses which cost a lot of money, this is usually some quality glass, and most of the lenses are very affordable, versatile, and small. This is the beauty of Micro Four Thirds and why I advocate for this system. So what about the L mount? Well, this is where it starts to fall apart a bit because it just doesn't make any sense. Each camera mount has its purpose, and we're looking for something in a camera when we're buying one. MFT, for example, is small and affordable, and Sony is versatile and has good autofocus. But what about the L mount? Sure, you can take the only camera Sigma ever produced, the Sigma FPL, and adapt Panasonic lenses to it, or vice versa, and it works, sure. But what about the other partner? I'm not talking about DJI, sorry. I'm talking about the Leica. Would you buy a Rolls Royce and adapt cheap Chinese wheels to it? Would you get a Leica SL2 for $7,000 and adapt a 50mm f1.4 Sigma for $800 on it? Or the opposite, would you get a Lumix S5 Mark II for $2,000 and adapt a 50mm f1.4 Leica on it for $6,600? Yeah, it makes sense business-wise, but consumer-wise, I'm not sure. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's chat because I find it weird. Maybe it makes sense to you. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to watch this one where I'm talking about how Panasonic has a better solution for film colors than Fuji, and Fuji should be aware of it. I'll see you next week. Bye!